Over the past school year, we've talked a lot about executive functions. So you might be asking, what is executive functioning and why does it matter? Executive functioning skills are important throughout life. Positive behaviors. Executive functionings help children develop skills of teamwork, leadership, decision-making, working towards goals, critical thinking, adaptability, and being aware of our own emotions as well as the emotions of others. When reviewing the journal articles and literature on the subject of executive functioning skills, it becomes quite clear that it should be a priority from elementary school through high school, and perhaps even in college. Individuals that have strong executive functioning remains one of the most reliable predictors of success both in academics and in life. This beats out test scores, IQ level, and socioeconomic status. Harvard University Center on the Developing Child's research states that when you have a child that has opportunities to develop executive functioning and self-regulation skills, the individuals and society experience lifelong benefits. The study further states that these skills are critical for learning and development. Also, to enable positive behavior and allow us to make healthy choices for ourselves and our families. So I'm sure now you're asking yourself, what exactly is executive functioning skills and how can I help my child better develop these skills? Executive functioning skills include working memory, which governs our ability to retain and manipulate distinct pieces of information over short periods of time. Mental flexibility, which helps us sustain and shift our attention and responses to different demands or to apply different rules in different social situations. Self-control, which allows us to be able to set priorities and resist impulsive behaviors or actions. These skills are highly interrelated, and the successful application of these skills requires them to operate in coordination with one another. Executive functioning skills are not skills that we are born with, but they are skills that we have the potential to develop. Some of us require more support, training, and learning with executive functioning skills than others. Some children have neurological differences that require more support in the areas of executive functioning skills. Also, in other situations, some children may not get what they need with their relationships with adults and the conditions in their environment. This can cause their skills to become seriously delayed or impaired. Children that require extra support benefit from a growth-promoting environment that provides children with scaffolding that helps practice necessary skills before they must perform them alone. Adults in the environment can facilitate development of a child's executive functioning skills by establishing routines, modeling social behavior, and creating and maintaining supportive, reliable relationships. It is critical for children to exercise their developing executive functioning skills through activities that foster creative and social connection, teaching them how to cope with stress that involves vigorous functional activities over time to provide opportunities to direct their own actions with decreasing adult supervision. These skills typically develop most rapidly between the ages of 3 and 5, followed by another spike in development during adolescence and early adult years. It takes a long time and a lot of practice to develop them, but as children's executive functioning skills grow, adults can gradually allow children to manage more and more aspects of their environment. Now, it doesn't surprise any of us that young children have a difficult time with self-control, planning, ignoring distractions, and adjusting to new demands. However, when we're out in social situations, many adults or environments forget that children are working on learning these concepts. These concepts do not come automatically, and they do not mature over time. These are skills that need to be taught. Furthermore, even less people understand that there is no timetable to learn these skills, but that it begins in early childhood and continues past adolescence, and that it provides common foundation in which early learning and social skills are built. Learning to control impulses, pay attention, and retain information actively in one's memory does not happen automatically. As children mature, young children who have problems with these skills will not necessarily outgrow them without proper intervention. Research shows that by the age of 12 months, a child's experiences are helping lay the foundations to ongoing development of executive functioning skills. These early abilities to focus attention, control impulses, and hold information in the working memory appear to be easily disrupted by highly adverse early experiences or biological disruptions. Furthermore, these studies showed evidence that early intervention aimed at improving these capabilities before your child enters school may have beneficial impacts across a broad array of important outcomes. This research showed that young children with compromised or delayed executive functioning skills can display very challenging behaviors, which are often blamed in most circumstances on a child's poor behavior. This research goes on to say when efforts to help the affected child develop better executive functioning skills and make adjustments of the demands placed upon them to avoid overtaxing their capabilities is much more helpful than punishment for difficult behaviors. This is particularly important when aversive experiences or environment elect a toxic stress response. It can become very difficult for even the most competent child to enlist whatever executive functioning skills they possess at the time. In these circumstances, the provision of a safe and predictable environment offers a sense of security, and the need for successful behavior change will occur. Researchers developed randomized trials of interventions designed to foster clusters of executive functioning skills. This included working memory, attention, and self-control. The research showed evidence that children that had training in emerging executive functioning skills contributed to helping raise their scores in early reading and math achievement during the pre-kindergarten years. When you think about it, it's not all of that surprising. These early learning skills that allow us to access our curriculum include being able to follow classroom rules, control our emotions, focus attention, sit still, and learn on demand through listening and watching. Those are the basic skills that we call learning to learn skills. So you need to learn those skills in order to be ready to access your curriculum at school. The takeaway from this research is that executive functioning skills are shaped throughout our life. They are lifelong skills that help us to be successful. They help us to build independence. They impact our social skills. Strong executive functioning skills support academics. Executive functioning skills enhance problem-solving abilities. They are a component of self-management. Executive functioning interventions support struggling kids. Learning tough skills requires a lot of practice. Executive functioning skills teach positive study habits and raise self-esteem. Let's now take a deep dive into what each of these executive functioning skills mean. Each skill plays an important role in helping accomplish both daily responsibilities and long-term goals. For learning about these executive functioning skills and their jobs, it is also important to note that they can often work together in different ways. The executive functioning skill of planning is developing a well-thought-out strategy before starting a task. This involves thinking about what you need before beginning something and creating a list of steps to help accomplish that goal in an effective way. Strong planning skills can help learners best use their time and complete tasks well, without needing to go back and revise their work after the fact. Organization is using strategies to stay neat and tidy. Being organized includes having a place for everything, developing a plan to keep materials orderly, and cleaning up as we go. Learners with strong organizational skills are better able to find what they need when they need it. Task initiation means that you start a task right away. This includes not procrastinating even when it is a non-preferred or less desirable task. This includes things like doing your homework, making your bed, or doing other household chores. Skills with task initiation are critical because those are the ones that the initial steps actually end up helping you get and start a job. Time management. Time management is using time well to complete tasks. This helps estimate how long a task will take, prioritize the task, and use your time wisely. With strong time management skills, your learner is better able to do their best and most focused work on jobs, while this also means that it will help them complete assignments on time. Attention. Attention allows us to focus on a person or a task for a long period of time. This includes ignoring many distractions and refocusing when needed. Strong attention skills can help the learner make sure that they hear and understand instructions, focus well during conversations, and concentrate on the longer tasks. Metacognition. That is thinking about our thinking. What I mean by this is it's that we consider the items that we do know about something and then what we don't know about that topic and what we need to do to learn it. These skills are critical when studying for assignments, completing tasks, completing projects at home and in the community. It is even just comprehending new learning materials. Working memory. That is keeping information in our heads while we're using it. We use working memory when we solve complex math problems or juggle numbers in our head. We also use working memory when remembering critical details in a story or just thinking back to what the directions were in class or maybe even what we did yesterday. Self-control. We all know about self-control and what self-control helps us maintain in our lives. Self-control is stopping and thinking in order to make a more positive choice in that moment. It involves learning how to hit the pause button, calm down when emotions run high, and think through a situation and make a good choice for now and for in the future. Learners use self-control in the moment, such as raising their hand before asking questions in the classroom, and in long term, such as choosing to go to school instead of staying home, or from going home from the park to finish an assignment for later. Think about the last time you used self-control, when you really told yourself that that wasn't the best decision, when your inner child said, yes, do it, just do it. That's what we need to teach our kids, is that even though we may want to do it in the moment, long term it's not the best thing for us or not the right decision. Flexibility. This year we've been working really hard at helping your children be more flexible. Flexibility is an effective coping skill with change. This means being open-minded, testing out new approaches, and going with the flow when things don't go as they planned. Being a flexible thinker also means being able to see a situation in more than one way, which is critical for problem solving and perspective taking. Flexibility is really important when you think about relationships, both friendships and long-term relationships in the workplace in the future, as well as relationships within the family. Perseverance is working through challenges and roadblocks when they come along the way. That means being able to try new strategies and to continue working on a task even when it's difficult. It means telling ourselves that we are capable of doing hard things. It also means that we are understanding when and how to ask for help when we need it. These skills are necessary for success in all areas of life, as challenges are bound to come up in our daily lives, both here and there. As you can see, it is really important that we target executive functioning skills. Executive functioning skills are everything that we do. We use them when we plan out a long-term project, when we organize our materials, and when we use self-control not to call out when somebody else is speaking. These skills are foundations for success. In our programs, we target and practice executive functioning skills with our learners. We ensure that our learners have a strong foundation of what they need to be successful both inside our classrooms and outside in the real world. Research supports that we can train our brains to improve basic skills such as organization and self-control. I'm going to share with you some simple examples of how we support both our young learners and our young adults learn valuable lessons and strategies to help them with their struggles at staying organized, paying attention, and working through challenges. This gives our learners the ability to meet immediate short-term benefits as well as supporting their long-term goals. When we're planning and developing our curriculum, we make sure to spend time embedding executive functioning skills throughout the content. A good example of this is if you dive down in and look at our research or our project-based program. We teach our students how to plan to research their items, to spend time organizing their ideas, and clearing out their work area. We discuss strategies for memorizing what they're going to present to the parents and learning new vocabulary. We embed these executive functioning skills into what they already are doing so that they can pair that and be highly effective learners. Almost every moment of our day, we encounter a problem with our learners, and we help them learn how to overcome these problems or challenges by working through scenarios and asking them, if you were going to face this problem, give me 2 ways that you can get through it. We have them come up with their own ideas on how that they can work through these situations. Every moment of every part of our day here in our program, we have highly structured break times that we use games and play activities to target executive functioning skills. You can use games such as Jenga. In Jenga, you are going to focus on having them practice planning and self-control. You can also use brain teasers or twisters and warm-ups that practice flexibility as well as perseverance. The topics which you can find for playing activities and games are never ending. We spend a great amount of time on direct teaching for social skills. Some of our learners have significant deficits in executive functioning skills, and it is important that we teach the skills in a very direct way. This means explaining the skills, discussing the reasons for learning it, and then giving the students a chance to practice using that skill. We use year-long executive functioning skills here. As a final note, we embed it in our reward system. If you remember, our reward system, part of it is based on our character traits, and some of our character traits will include things like flexibility, giving compliments, staying on task, and your kids are being rewarded for demonstrating these executive functioning skills. In our next training, we are going to focus on how you can help your child develop more effective executive functioning skills and how in an everyday situation they can execute these skills.